Okay, I think I've got everything working again. Hello, everyone. Turns out when your power goes out, some things get messed up. But that's, you know what, that's fine. That's okay. We are alive. Excuse me. Well, welcome on in, everyone. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome on in, Mika, Dubious, Ray, Sage, Stelly, Zero, Creative. How you doing? There we go. Wait. Uh-oh, wait, where am I? Uh-oh, hold on. Where am I? Yo, what's up, Simon? How you doing? Where am I? This is... Huh. We might have to travel into the void. Because I don't actually know where I am anymore. What happened? Did my VTube studio settings just like nuke themselves? Like, what's going on? You know, I just wanted you here for the scuff. That's why I wanted y'all here, is you're here for the scuff, you know? Huh. I'm actually confused at what is happening here. Huh? Okay, I'm back. Okay, I fixed it. Okay, we're good. We're good. Ah! That was terrifying. Also, if I randomly lose power again, we've got a massive thunderstorm going on. And it's a little crazy right now, just to say the least. But welcome on in, everyone. Welcome to... I was about to say welcome to Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday. Hey, what's up, Tro? How you doing? Oh, that was a voice crack. Ugh. Oh, we have stuff to talk about today. We have lots of stuff to talk about today. Okay, now that I'm settling back in, let me pull out some notes of some shenanigans and stuff that is going on. Because today, guys, the last 2 days have been crazy. So yesterday, I had one of the worst nosebleeds I think I've ever gotten in my life. And it was awful. Super lightheaded all day. So you know what? You know what's funny? When I made the announcement yesterday, about an hour before stream, welcome on Indigo. That's not what I got, the nosebleed. I actually got it that morning. And I was just lightheaded all day because of it. It was that bad. It was crazy. I hate that so much. It happens to be like once or twice a year. It's kind of crazy. But that happened. So work kind of sucked all day. And then last night, I chipped my freaking tooth. Do you guys have any idea? Okay. What do you think I was doing when I chipped my tooth? Was it A, chewing on something that I shouldn't have? It's my front tooth, my front left tooth has a little chip in it now. Was it A, was I chewing on something I shouldn't have been? B, flossing? Or C, I bumped into something? What do you guys think happened? Also, welcome on in, Bafudamapa. How you doing? Yeah, I chipped it while freaking flossing. How? Like, I'm just sitting here. I'm being a good little cat. I'm just sitting there flossing, and then all of a sudden, I hear something just go. I'm like, what was that? And I feel something hard on my tongue. Put it out. There's this tiny little chip. I'm like, what the freak happened? How do you chip a tooth flossing? I actually don't know how that's possible. I don't know. I've never flossed in my life. Oh, fair. Welcome, villager. Just passing by. Well, have a good rest of your day then, villager. So that happened. Also, I don't know if I talked about this on membership stream or not. Did I? Hey, Pumpkin, how you doing? Sorry to hear that. Yeah, and the worst part is they couldn't even get me in today to take care of it. I had to go schedule it for tomorrow. To like first thing tomorrow morning, my dentist is taking a look at it to actually fix things. So I just had to live with it today. And by the way, do you guys know how, oh my gosh, I forgot how annoying it is. Because I shouldn't say I forgot, because like it's never really happened before. But like, do you guys know how annoying it is to have a chip in your front tooth every time you like? It doesn't hurt, thankfully. It was just like a really tiny one. But like every time my tongue goes across the top of my mouth, I can feel it. It's driving me insane. Hey, what's up, Freddie? How you doing? Oh my gosh, it's actually driving me insane. But hopefully I get it fixed tomorrow morning. Hopefully they can just fix it really easily. I'm not expecting it to be crazy, but you never know. You never know. Oh, also today we are testing some new updates to oh, shoot, that's what I forgot. I knew I forgot something. I forgot to post the main chat in the side chat. Whoops. Let me do that. Let me do that right now. All right, shorts chat, full stream here. There you go. In message. Okay, there we go. We did it. Was confused why I couldn't see full chat. Yeah, I've thought about putting the full chat on the short stream before, but I don't know. It just kind of pumps it up over there. I don't know. But the point is that I can see both. But we're testing out a new Chaos Bot update that I've been working on a lot that combines multiple chats. We can actually combine like tons of chats. Do you guys want to see a clip of the video of me trying it out with like 5 HoloLive member chats? Because it's kind of amazing. Let me see if I can find that. Chat is flying by. It's crazy. Welcome on. Well, wow, I was about to say welcome on in, and then I don't know what the next thing I was going to say is, but definitely wasn't your name, Cast Iron. Which, it turns out, I'm still trying to unlearn saying Castrion. I don't know why. Just that was your name for forever. Where's the one where it's just flying? Words hard? Yeah, words are hard. Oh, did I mess it up? Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. Check this out. So this chat. Oh, sorry, short stream. Hold on. How do I show this for you too? Oh wait, let me put that on loop real quick. Oh no, I'm messing up my OBS. Stop it, OBS, please. I just want you to loop. Thank you. Good job, OBS. Here you go, shorts. Oh no, it put it over here again. Dang it. There you go. That's it. Like when it's going, it's flying. It's crazy. Apparently it won't let me put it on the short stream. I don't know why, but I'll fix that later. Hey, what's up, Remy? How you doing? And Vice, welcome on in. Low-key exhausted from work, so just on and lurking. Hey, that's fine with me. We love the lurkers here. But yeah, I've been working on some programming stuff. I've decided that the next update to Chaos is probably going to be one of its last ones for a little while. I'm doing a lot of bug fixing for it, and I'm adding the ability to do multiple YouTube streams. But after that, like, I don't know if there's a whole lot more I want to add to it for now. But I've got a lot of bug fixes to deal with first. So But that's what I've been doing this week, because I've really been looking into it. Apparently a lot of people have found bugs with it in like the last week, and it's kind of been driving me crazy, because all of a sudden people are finally telling me that it's broken, despite it being out for forever, and only like 1 or 2 people be like, oh, this is a problem. I'm like, okay. And now I've had like 5 people last week be like, so actually this doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean anymore? Did it work before? It's funny. It's funny. And out lurking, trying to focus on learning to drive, which I hate myself for not learning, but that's life. Hey, that is life. That is life. Oh gosh. Also, God, I want... Glad to see your nosebleeds between. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Because yesterday sucked. But guys, I got confirmation of something this afternoon, and I'm so excited, but I don't want to talk about it because it's not finalized yet. It's not 100% finalized. So I don't want to say anything until it's 100% finalized. But if it is actually finalized, it's going to be awesome. It's something I'm super excited about. But I can't talk about it yet. I'm so sad. Ah! But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Also, I have been working a lot on doing a potential let's play, or let's play is not the right word. It's live play, I think. Live play D&D stuff, which I am excited and nervous to attempt. But I think it's something that I need to do to like get back in the groove of things. Because honestly, guys, I mean, you guys know this. We've been D&D cat for like at least a month now, like minimum a month. And I'm kind of just vibing with it. I'm loving it. Oh, that reminds me, guys, I'm finally a real YouTuber. I'm finally a real YouTuber. I finally made my most disliked video of all time. Did I talk about this already, or was I just telling friends about this? I don't remember. So I gotta turn off my AC real quick. I don't remember if I told you guys about this in... Wait, when did I even make this video? Hold on. I gotta look at this video. When did I make it? That will help me put it in time. It was... 22nd? Oh, okay, I think I mentioned it on membership stream. No, because it wouldn't have been live long enough yet on membership stream. No, yeah, no, oh no, I did mention on members. Okay, so members heard this story, but non-members, you guys get to hear this for the first time. So I finally made my most disliked video I've ever made, and that's by like to dislike ratio. It was 50% for a while. It's climbed back up a little bit, but that's the lowest liked video I've ever made. Not even my crappy attempt at making a news channel video was like that. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And I thought it was funny because it got a lot of comments. Imagine hitting the like button on both streams. Hey, you're just twice as cool for doing it. It was really funny though, because I can't say I've learned. I've always known this, but I've been reminded that I have some not even divisive, some differing opinions than those of the residents of the internet. And by God, is there no place for nuance on YouTube? It's so funny. Like, obviously you can't give context for a 20-second clip, but man, some people see what you talk about and be like, they decide your whole character based off of that. It's beautiful. Oh, also, I want to shout out the best comment chain I've gotten recently. Shout out to Lucas Zacher and Muffin Laser. Because I want to show you guys this. I'm sorry, short stream. This doesn't show up over there. I'm sorry. But oh gosh, this was good. This is my new favorite comment of the year, or comment thread, I should say. There you guys go. Why are you a cat? Why not? Okay, I like that. The good ending. Wait, why didn't I like that other guy's comment? Hold on, I need to like these. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, that's my favorite comment chain so far. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh man. Let's see. What else do we got? What else do we got? Ray Leech stuff is coming along. We hopefully get to have that actually started in August. That's exciting. We're gearing up for our next Cat Records shenanigans as well. It's crazy with context, people still don't care. Oh no, yeah, no, that's absolutely true. That's 100% true. Chaos, like that, 100%. But yeah, so we got that stuff coming. Other stuff that I'm working on. So I already mentioned the live play thing. I don't know when I want to launch it. I'm going to be pretty out of practice for the first run, so I'm not going to open it up to like a lot of people, I don't think. But I'm probably going to grab a few of my friends to see if they want to do like a one-shot on stream or something. Maybe get some fun little avatars drawn or things like that. And call it a day. I blame Blank for this, but I've been watching a ton of EO. Because I really like the way that he does games and stuff. And you know, it's a little bit inspiring. It's pretty fun to watch him. You have a very fancy chat bubble. Thank you. I made it. Or do you mean the actual bubble? That was drawn by someone else. I just have the chat up there. That's it. But that's pretty cool. Oh, what was the other thing? Hold on. I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? I don't remember where I wrote it down. Uh-oh. My notepad. It's failing me. I thought I wrote everything down that I needed to talk about today. Well, I didn't. Oh, well. But that's all fun. All good shenanigans there. Let's see. Also, we have, let's see, I mentioned that, I can't talk about that yet. Soon, maybe. Also, Saturday. I have decided that Saturday, we're going to be going over Daggerheart for the first time. We are going to be talking about the system. We're going to be looking at it from like a person who's only seen it. Like, this is a first look at Daggerheart. I've not run a game in it. I've not played in it. I know it's still in beta. What type of content do you do mainly? These days, kind of like RPG related stuff and card games. Whenever that card game comes out, we're doing more content about it. But we're gonna, this Saturday, actually, you know what, Chaos, this is a great segue. So honestly, recently what we've been doing is every week, on Saturday morning specifically, I kind of take you guys through a deep dive of a new system, or a system that I've played, or just one that I want to look at. And so we're going to go over all about what it is, like what I think is good about it, what I think might be some of the strengths and weaknesses of it. Like last week, we did the My Little Pony games. The week before that, we did Anima. The week before that, we did Pathfinder, first edition. Other games that's going to be on here is second edition, fifth edition, like Pathfinder second edition, Pathfinder or D&D fifth edition, Shadowrun, Blades in the Dark is another one I wanted. Like, I've got a whole list of stuff, and people keep on recommending more to me, so I'm never going to run out of stuff to go over. Hello, I'm changed to the Russian Empire. Nice. Welcome on in the Russian Empire. So stuff like that. But so this Saturday, we're going to look at Daggerheart. It's a system I have not run. I've read through a decent portion of the handbook, and I will finish reading through the handbook by Saturday. And I will go over some of my thoughts about it. And, you know, maybe if you, that's how you guys will decide if you want to give it a try, if you want to, you know, look into it more yourself and stuff like that. Got a huge question. Have you ever played Legend of Dragoon? I have not. Sadly. But then the week after, we're going to do 5th edition. And it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. And I'm excited for both. And the ultimate goal, by the way, at the end of looking at like probably 20, 30, 40 systems, I don't know how many systems we're going to go through. The goal is by next year to have started, at the very least started, writing our own system and making content for it here on the channel. And that will be the primary focus at that point, is we'll be making stuff, we'll be commissioning artwork, you know, making a world, making a setting, making a game that everyone on stream can get into, play, and enjoy. And who knows, maybe we'll detour and make some content for other systems as well. So, your character's so cool with the glasses. Why, thank you. I know, I look very sophisticated. The best part is these glasses are just a PNG that I put on. And it just works. I hope you cover Hunter, Werewolf. Oh, Werewolf is one that was on my list. I know Lancer's on the list. World of Darkness is another one that I really want to do. Call of Cthulhu is a lot of fun. And, you know, I want to do a lot of the one-page RPGs, like the really simple and really fun ones, and do like a couple of those in a stream, because honestly, those RPG systems, like the little ones, are so much fun for, like, if you and your friends just want to have fun for an hour or two and just do a fun little mini game, they're awesome. Marvel is another one. Numenera, Dungeon World. Like I've gone over this. So there's a lot of systems that I've either like touched or played with that I want to show off to all of you, because I think they're just so cool. Plus, it lets me farm clip content like no other. Oh, I've gotten real good at farming clips, I gotta say. Been good fun. It's been good fun. Oh, I was actually asked. The funny thing is, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys another story. So I was asked by not one friend, but two, if I had ever considered editing clips for other people. And I'm like, guys, I don't think you understand how how lazy I am with my editing. I don't think you guys understand. I take the easiest road every time. Do you guys know how long it takes me to make a clip? And like, this isn't even an exaggeration. It's like 15 minutes. Like, I have a little button that I can push. Like, I have a little button right here. It's called my timestamper button. It makes a really, really loud noise on the stream that you guys can't hear, but that the video can hear. And so whenever I think I've like talked about something that I think could be a good clip, I just go over and I hit that little button. And then when I go look at the VOD after stream, I just go to where I have all these little marks. And then afterwards, I wrap it up into a clip. I just do very simple cuts, and then Adobe has automatic subtitling these days. So it's it really doesn't take any time. I just have to fix some of the subtitles because, you know, this, let's be real, sometimes the subtitles are a little wonky whenever you use automated stuff. And then it's done. I watch it like once or twice to make sure I didn't miss any shenanigans, and then I slap it on YouTube, and it's good. It's wonderful. It's easy. And that's still more effort than a lot of people want to put in, which I find fascinating. And, you know, on some level I get it, because like it is kind of annoying, and it took a little while to, you know, get to that point. But like even then, it's, I don't know, it's just It's where we are right now. So speaking of clips, guys, we're gonna farm some because I have written down a lot of stuff that I want to talk about based off the comments you guys have been leaving on the videos, and some of them are really fascinating. Like the subject of killer DMs comes up quite a bit. I tend to focus my clips on the perspective of like, because I am the GM more often than not. I kind of prefer GMing. I don't necessarily prefer playing. I like playing sometimes, but for the most part, a lot of the content and a lot of the advice I give is coming from someone who's on the other side of the GM screen. And one of the big mentalities that I've run into a lot, especially when I'm GMing for random people, because I want to give you guys some context of how deep in the RPG hole I was for a little while. And I'm not saying this was good. I don't recommend this, but this is what happened. There was a point in my life, and it wasn't even a short amount of time. It was like there was a solid 6 months of time where every single day I had a different D&D session, or I had a D&D session with a different group. I want you to put in perspective how much time that is. It's why I have 20,000 hours on Roll20. Oh, that was a wild time. And the sad part is I was running like half of the games. I don't know what possessed me to do that, but I did it for probably a solid 6 months before I just absolutely and utterly creatively burnt myself out. But yeah, I played it a lot. And the best part was they weren't even all in the same system. I think the worst I ever had, I was running an anime game. I was running two Pathfinder games, and I was also running a Blades in the Dark game while playing in an anime game and 2 other Pathfinder games. It was crazy. Oh my gosh, there was one day, man, this is actually how bad it got. There was one day where I was in 3 separate D&D games. I got up at 9 to play an online one. I went to a buddy's house at like 2 in the afternoon to play in an IRL one. And then after that, I played in another one at like 10 o'clock at night that went until like 3 in the morning. There's something wrong with me, man. That was probably like an honest addiction at that point. I don't know why. This is also back when I actually had time to do that. No shot I could get away with that now. Like that amount of time I just don't have anymore. It's actually insane. But throughout all of that, because I was the DM so often, I have definitely flavored a lot of my stories and stuff from that perspective. That's not to say that I haven't been on the other side of the screen before, you know. Killer DMs, that's absolutely a thing. In fact, it's strangely common. And I think one of the main reasons that leads to that mentality, especially if you're playing with people for the first time, is just due to the inherent nature of the GM always playing the bad guys, right? Like, because the players can't play the bad guys. The GM plays the bad guys, or the adversaries, I should say. It always feels like when the GM is doing well, the players are suffering as a result. And that's not necessarily the case. Like sometimes the dice are just the dice. It's also why in the past, I have done a lot of like dice fudging when I was a newer GM because I wanted to focus on the story more. But I've also just kind of love like rolling in the open and letting the dice fall as they may, because then everyone's just on the same page and everyone can kind of all get excited when the boss fails a roll. Because like there have been times where my players have been absolutely bashing themselves against the wall on a boss. Like they're just rolling terrible. They're all about to die. The boss is about to kill all of them. We're rolling all the dice in the open, and then I roll a 1 And like the whole, because like I'm not trying to kill my players, not usually at least. But there's been times where like I roll a 1 and the whole table just a cheer erupts in these roars of like, oh my gosh, we're not dead. And then they roll a crit right after, like, oh my gosh, and everyone's excited. We're all yelling, like, you guys did it, you guys did it. And, you know, I'm secretly panicking, like, I didn't mean to make the boss fight that hard. Whoops. But the point is everyone was excited about it. Oh, it was. So I've never fully gotten the whole, like, players versus GM or GM versus players mentality. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to either run or play in a game because it's fun. If I'm the GM, it's my responsibility to try and make everyone have the most fun, including myself. I think you are absolutely allowed to have fun as the GM. But when you're DMing for a group of new people, it almost feels like there's that inherent us versus them problem. And I've never really fully understood how to present myself in such a way that that isn't an issue in some cases. And, you know, sometimes that's just how the people are, right? Like there's tons of different ways to play role-playing games, and you know, there's the people who like to beat a challenge. They want to fight enemies. They want to progress through stories. They're looking at it like a game that needs to be beaten, right? And then there's others that just, you know, they just want to role play. They want to experience the world. They want to talk to every peasant. They want to find out what the local corruption is in the city and things like that. And there's a whole spectrum of people in between. But I think, unfortunately, realistically, the GM does have the bigger responsibility when it comes to running a game because they're technically in charge. What they say goes. And sometimes, you know, that means that you're not going to have as much fun as you could have if it means that the group as a whole doesn't like break apart. And, you know, at my tables, we actually had a pretty interesting ruling when it comes to like rules disputes, which I think is a oddly common problem when it comes to gaming groups. I think it's more common for groups that are newer with each other. Like the group is new, not any of the individual players, but like the group is a new group and not everyone knows each other yet. Versus a veteran group that has been playing together for a long time. We all kind of just understand the rules. But at my tables, generally, if there was a rules dispute that wasn't like vital to figure out that second, I might actually have to take this 1 second. I got a phone call from a number I thought I recognized, and it wasn't that. I'm gonna go watch absurd amounts of art tutorials. Have fun, Bafuda Mappa. Oh, train of thought got lost there for a second. Holy cow, that completely derailed my train of thought. What was I even talking about? I get so into a discussion, then the moment something like breaks me out of it, it's like all my thoughts just died. It's kind of crazy. But what I think I was talking about was the difference between veteran groups. Oh, I was talking about rules disputes at the table. So my group, we kind of just had a rule where if the RPG rule in question was not going to cause a big issue right then, I would make a ruling on it and we would run the rest of the session with that ruling. And then if players after or even later in the session showed me stuff that may like counteracted what I had said, then we would change things going forward, but the previous ruling would still stand. And unless it was like a giant, huge thing that caused us to need to retcon something, then, you know, we'd have a little bit more of a discussion. But for the most part, there was kind of like a gentleman's agreement that what was said during the game stuck, and if you wanted to dispute it, you could do so after the game when it was on, you know, our own time, kind of a deal. And that worked out very well for us, I think, for the most part. I don't know, I never really heard a lot of negative things as a GM. And so, you know, sometimes, you know, this is actually a really interesting topic, because I just realized we've been listening to the Cat album literally all stream so far. Let's swap it up a little bit just for a little bit of variance, shall we? There we go. Something I kind of noticed during my time as a GM is I didn't actually hear that much criticism towards me, and that always kind of worried me, because I am a firm believer that sometimes, actually a lot of the time, you need to be told you're doing something wrong, and like in order to grow from it. And if no one ever like tries to tell you you're wrong, or you're not good at accepting when someone does try to tell you that you're wrong, you don't really get to, like, you don't have the opportunity to grow from it. So whenever I'd ask people, be like, hey, how are we feeling? How are we thinking about this? And whenever I got like mostly positive feedback, there's always like that weird doubt in the back of my mind of like, did they actually mean it, or were they just being nice so that I would continue GMing? That was always a weird question I had. Question: can you join a table without knowledge of the rules or logistics of the game? Okay, that is actually, hold on. I want to reread that because this is absolutely going to be a clip. Can you join a table without knowledge of the rules or logistics of the game? Absolutely yes. And in fact, most of the time in my experience, if you are a new player and you want to learn how to play the game, and you approach a table that's just being like, they're just having fun, they're playing, or a friend wants you to try it, they are more than happy to teach you how to play the game. I will say that for the most part, my tabletop experience has been, if you are a new player to the genre, people love to teach you how to play the game. In fact, they're excited to teach you. It's honestly a really awesome and welcoming atmosphere for probably 9 times out of 10, because they want to bring more people into the hobby. So yeah, you absolutely do not need to have knowledge of the game to be able to play the game, because the players and the GM, they'll help you out. They'll help you learn the game. And that's half the fun, because a lot of the times, like, I don't know, it's just kind of fun teaching new people, you know? Maybe I'm weird like that, but I like it when new people express interest in the hobby. And unless like my table is completely full, which I will say I have learned the hard way that I have a definite cap on the number of people I can pay attention to. And that number is 6. Even 6 is really hard for me as a GM to try and pay attention to. I've done more. I have done less. My sweet spot is 5. Because in my experience, I like running games for tables of 4 or 5. And with 5, if someone is missing, you can still run the game with 4 and it's totally fine. If you're running it with 4 and someone is out of the game, then you only have 3, and that feels a little awkward to try and run sometimes because the balancing gets all messed up. So 5 is my perfect amount of group. Like that's my perfect number, because it's just big enough that someone can be gone, because someone will always be gone, and we can continue on with the story. 6 I can work with, because again, usually someone is gone, but with 6 players, if everyone is there, I'm gonna keep it honest, I get overwhelmed, and I'm not that good at balancing for 6 players. So the only times I've ever turned away new people to like join a group is well, I mean, they do have to pass the vibe check, I will say that. The vibe check is real, but assuming they pass the vibe check, which most people do. The only times I've ever turned away people from joining a campaign is if I'm already at a higher number than, because like 7, that's too much. I honestly just, I don't feel like I can give 7 people attention over the course of a session and have it feel like not boring for everyone else, because there's just so much going on at that point. You know, one round of combat can take like 15 minutes depending on what's going on. So that was a side tangent about how many people I can run for, but other people might have differing ideas, and I would love to hear what everyone else's, you know, perfect number is. Question: can a PC blow up an RPG game? Sure, probably. I don't know. I don't see any reason why it couldn't. Like, you probably could. So wait 1 second. My phone needs to freeze for just 1 more second. 1 more second. Ah! There we go. Okay, we're good. We are good. Thoughts on code yamming? I've tried it once. And by once I mean like it lasted for like half of a session. I don't know. If I actually don't know. I don't know how I feel about code yams. I can't say I've ever really done it. The thought is interesting, but like it depends on what your definition of code yamming is, right? Because to me, when I hear the word code yam, it means that we are trying to build a campaign together, and we're trying to build a story that the players are experiencing, and we are both putting in equal effort to try and make the story and game coherent. But at the end of the day, I don't know how a code jamming experience really works, because I just haven't done it. The closest I've gotten is running like adventure leagues or Pathfinder Society games, where it's a set adventure that everyone is playing in at the same time. You know, multiple tables are doing it. Also, welcome on in, John. So that's the closest I've ever got to code DMing. I don't know. It sounds like it could be interesting. I'd like to try it maybe once, but I have a strong suspicion that it's probably not for me. Hey, what's up, Cornito? What characters do you play as when not DMing? Right now, I'm playing a Magus in a game. That's the only game that I'm actively playing in right now. But I tend to prefer. I either go like super charisma based characters like oracles or divine casters, or I also like archers, dex based characters. So sometimes there's no substitute for just being an awesome barbarian. Just run up and hit them with the biggest weapon you got. It's great. Favorite campaign, huh? Also, hold on. I'm just noticing. Why is that so low? That's weird. My microphone audio seems to be a little lower than normal, and I don't really know why. It's weird. What's up, Pumpkin? How you doing? What is my favorite campaign? My favorite campaign that I've played in, which I've told this story before, is when I was a archer paladin named Valtira, and she would run around. She was absolutely a crusader of the light, and it was awesome. She was a Oath of Vengeance paladin. Lots of fun. She fist fought werewolves. It was great. It was wonderful. I've played a lot of the Pathfinder classes. I don't really enjoy prepared casters. That's not really my shtick. I know that a lot of people really get like a lot of enjoyment out of, you know, preparing all of their spells and making sure they have the right spell for every situation. That's not me. I like knowing what spells that I have access to and just being able to blast them as many times as I can. The only exception is if it's like a lower level caster that's more just like buff spells, then I don't mind those. But in general, I play in Pathfinder, they're called spontaneous casters, but casters that you don't have to do a lot of prep for. You just like, oh, I know this spell, I know this spell, and I know this spell, and I can cast all of them, and it's wonderful. It's good stuff. And I like martial. I don't know. I like, for me, the fantasy is being a fighter taking down a dragon. I'm not super into the wizard casting these giant, huge spells that will take down everything. That's not as interesting to me as the fighter who is going toe to toe with a dragon with just a sword and a shield. Like, that's cooler to me. I also do like pet classes. Need to go now before I go on subbing? Well, thank you for the sub, Cornito. I appreciate it. I should know when you do collabs if you do it. Sure, I'll announce them. But like, I don't know. I like the more gritty fantasy style. And maybe that just comes from my experiences as GM, but like mages, I'm just tired of wizards being able to solve encounters with one spell. It's like, oh, Icy Prism, your boss is frozen now. Or I guess Pit just means that they're CC'd perfectly and stuff like that. That's not fun magic to me. But I know it is for a lot of other people. So I don't ever ban anything like that. Because that, like, what am I going to be? Just the killjoy of the party? That's not fun. But I do like... I definitely prefer the lower magic stakes. What's up, Jess? How you doing? So, fighters, rangers. I think rangers are awesome. Monks, I like. Paladins. Not a huge fan of clerics. Bards are fun. I've played a druid. I'm not into druids personally. They're just not, I don't know, they're just not really my thing. Psychic, I played a psychic once. That was kind of cool. Rogues are fun. I don't know. That's my personal play style. Let's see here. What about elves and hobbits? Oh, okay. Here's a question for you guys. What's your favorite fantasy race to play as? So in Pathfinder, I like Kitsune a lot. I played a lot of Kitsune in my day. Played a lot of Aesmar. And a lot of humans. So I think I've actually played human mostly. I'm playing a half elf for the first time. You do Siren. I don't know if Siren's in Pathfinder. I'm sure there's something like Siren in Pathfinder. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if there's something like Siren in Pathfinder. Oh, I've played androids before. Androids are cool. Catfolk. Catfolk are fun. But I don't know. I'm boring. I kind of just like being a human a lot of the time. They're fun. They're versatile. They just do stuff. They get stuff done on time. I don't know. They're just good. They're just good. I've never enjoyed elves, mostly because of what elves are in Pathfinder are very frail. I'm not a huge fan of dying. Not having a lot of hit points. Oh, I played as a dragon once. I also had a Drider character once. But that wasn't by choice. I got turned into a Drider, and that was interesting. Played as a dragon once. That was not for very long, but that was interesting. I've made a battle succubus before. Basically, we were in this campaign. I think it was another one where like we got turned into weird stuff, but I got turned into a succubus, but I kept all my original stats. So instead of being like, haha, I'm gonna be a succubus. No, I was like full plate, battle armor. I'm gonna rip people apart, because guess what succubi get in Pathfinder? They get teleport as a swift action, which means all of a sudden this hulked out freaking demon is teleporting behind you with a giant glaive and is about to rip you a new one. Oh, that was so much. I was basically just a fighter that could fly and had teleport, and it was so much fun. Because everyone's like, why aren't you using like the mind domination ability? It's like, why would I? Why do that when I could literally just teleport behind someone and impale them with a freaking glaive? Oh my gosh. You're basically playing as Goku. Yeah, if Goku had a giant spear, more or less. You were a Dark Souls boss? Kinda. But like, think about it. Think about this for a second, right? It's like succubi are always like depicted as these super sensual creatures that are very lithe and all this stuff. But imagine you see one that's just kind of like, I think it was Overlord who had something kind of like this. Like Albedo, right? Albedo in full plate. You see that thing flying at you? That's terrifying. I'm sorry. Like, you give something that has wings and that can teleport, heavy armor, and an awesome weapon? That is horrifying. Like, I don't want to fight that. That sounds terrible. Like, imagine, it's like, oh, it's fighting a wizard, just teleports right next to the wizard. And it's like, haha, you want to cast a spell? You sure about that? And like, if the fighter chases after it, oh, it's like, oh, it just teleports away. What do you do? And if all of that fails, guess what? They still have their base spellcasting ability. If they really need to, they can fall back on it. But I just think like a martially trained teleporting demon is absolutely more terrifying to fight and is a menace to deal with. I like the trope where succubi are terrible at their jobs and super shy. I like the concept of a battle succubus that's not, they don't care about any of that crap. They're here for they're just here to kill everyone. It's great. It's also why I like the Baylor. The Baylor and Pathfinder are just these giant freaking things with flaming whips that are just like, you're just gonna die. We're here just to fight, and it's great. I love stuff like that. I think it's fun. I also like doing that with like angels and stuff too, because like I like the idea of things that aren't just like, oh, it's scary because it's a demon. It's like, oh, it's scary because the demon is using armor and stuff. That makes it so much more terrifying. Because it also hides like the actual form of the demon. I'm of the opinion, if you can't actually see what something looks like, but you just see the shell that it's wearing, you know, which in this case would be armor, it makes it more terrifying because you don't actually get to see what's underneath it, you know? It adds that level of, oh crap, there's something under there. Like, why are they wearing all this armor? What happens if we get all the armor off? What's underneath? I don't know, I just like it. I like that thought process. It's just good. Good. Good times, good times. What do you mean WWT all over. What do you mean? What do you even mean by that statement? I don't even know what you mean by that statement. What's in the box vibe? Exactly. That also is a decent segue into the, if your GM asks if you're sure about doing something, that is like I don't know if there's a more universally understood code word of, I think what you're about to do is really stupid. Please don't do it. Or maybe check your notes again before proceeding with this planned course of action. It may lead to a TPK. I was looking at that when, you know, this relates back to the whole killer GM discussion we were having a little bit earlier. But my heart stops whenever she asks that of me. Right? But like, isn't that's the thing I don't get. Like, if your GM is asking if you're sure that you want to take an action, maybe just think about taking that action, you know? Like, what did you miss? Maybe the GM is trying to save your character from making a terrible decision. And you know, at least in my group, in my experience, my players would go through and make that decision anyways. But you know what? At least I tried and said, like, guys, maybe don't do that, please. I think the worst example of this is I was running a game, like they were just starting off, they were in a castle, they were getting a quest from something or other, and I don't know if they just weren't feeling the vibe of the game from session 1 and they just wanted to try something different, but they were getting a quest from like the local magistrate, and one of them's like, hey, there's not a lot of guards around, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, they're here, they're in the room, and I kind of pointed out where their positions were, and they're like, what if we just killed the mayor? What? And then the other players are like, yeah, we could probably do that and get away with it. And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean you could get away with? Like, I re-described the room to them, because like the mayor was like, not just like, haha, I'm a politician. Like, this is a smaller town. The mayor was like the old captain of the guard. He was just a little too old to, you know, be captain of the guard anymore. He was now just running the town. So like, clearly this guy is not a pushover for level 1 people. And, you know, after I got finished describing, they're like, oh yeah, no, we can totally take him. And I'm like, are you sure? And one of the guys at the table, I think he got like snapped back to reality. He was like, wait a second, maybe we shouldn't do this. And everyone's like, nah, it'll be fine. So they just straight up attacked him, and they got, I didn't hold back. They attacked him like he's a retired militia captain. He absolutely mopped the floor with them. The guards didn't even have to help. He just beat him by himself. And so, yeah, that campaign ended very, very quickly. And again, I'm like, did they just not want to play that particular storyline, and this is their way of resetting things? Or did they just literally not think about the consequences of their actions there? I was so confused. To this day, they maintained, like, I don't know, they just thought that they could get away with it. I'm like, but why to the first NPC are you already having murder thoughts? Why is that the thing? It was that situation in particular was just wild to me, because I always expect players to try and pull off some sneaky shenanigans occasionally, but when I've like gone out of my way to explain why someone is really strong and give more than a few subtle hints that they might not be someone you want to fight right now, my players are like, oh my gosh, we got to fight him right the freak now. Yeah, they absolutely let the intrusive thought win that day. And you know what? I don't really have anyone to blame but myself. Probably because one time they did it and it actually worked. And I didn't hold back. They just got really, really creative with how they were fighting a boss It wasn't even supposed to be a boss, but like he was this vampire lord and they just managed to kill him and get out. Like with a lot of vampires chasing them, but they collapsed a mountain on top of them. So it was fine. They sealed him in there. They couldn't even escape in their gaseous form. And so I to this day, I feel like that one event just empowered them to be creatively risky for the rest of their lives. Oh my gosh. I open YouTube on my TV and see your stream. Well, yeah, that does tend to happen these days. My face when my mind says the somebody title once told me. Isn't it beautiful how a single word can prey on your inner thoughts and be like, oh, I can't help but think of this one thing now. I have successfully infiltrated your brain for the rest of the day. What are you going to do about it? Oh my gosh. Good GM stories. Good GM stories. Half of me expected some of the thumbnail text to be the song lyrics. Look, can't I just engage psychological warfare on you every once in a while? You know, just poke and prod just a little bit to make sure that you guys, you know, are always on your toes. Sometimes you just ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. That's absolutely true. This reminds me of another thing though, is sometimes the best thing you can do as a GM is just end the session, like prematurely. I know that one might be a little bit of a hot topic, but I've been in tons of situations where the players have done something that completely throws off my game for like, for whatever reason, they just decided, nope, we're just going to go do this super weird specific thing. And I am so not ready for that. And, you know, there are times where I've just powered through and I've tried to improvise a whole bunch of stuff and it's kind of wrecked my story later, which is, you know, fine. But I've kind of come to learn in recent years that like once players have gone too far off the path that I don't know where they're headed, I am not good enough at improvising, I don't think, personally, to be able to just handle whatever things people throw at them. That's usually why at the end of every session, I ask, like, what are you guys planning on doing next session? So I can prepare for it. And so if they tell me, hey, we're going to go to this dungeon, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, I will plan for all of that, plus a little bit more, just in case, you know, things get done faster, or maybe they want to go talk to some side NPCs first. But I will plan around that. So if at the beginning of next session, they're like, hey, just kidding, we want to actually go out into the wilderness instead of exploring this dungeon we just found. I'm kind of left there like, I don't know what to do here. I didn't have plans ready for this. Feeling a lot more tired than I thought, and the hot weather is not helping me, so I'm gonna head out. See you later, Vice. Hey, what's up, Fizzaroli? How you doing? Oh yeah, just yeah. So I've stopped sessions pretty prematurely, and you know, most of the times that's because we use games, or at least I mostly use D&D as a way to hang out with friends. So even if we're not actually playing the game, you know, we're talking about whatever, we're catching up, we're talking about our weeks, talking about our days, you know, doing all this fun stuff. So it's not really a waste of time if the session ends a little early, you know. But I do think there's not enough DMs that are willing to end the session early, because if you're not good at if you're not good at improv, sometimes, you know, you need to take that extra time and just be like, guys, I'm not ready for this. I'm not prepared for this. And usually by communicating clearly, you know, the group understands. They're like, oh, okay, you know, our bad on changing the plans so much. You know, let's get back together next week and make it better, you know? Sir Yapper, House of Feline. Yes, yes, yes. I am Sir Yappington. And you can absolutely do isekai stories in D&D. I've done a lot of them. They're actually really easy to do. I played in one where we got isekai'd onto an alternate version of Earth, where we actually used the actual world map, but everything was fantasy themed. So instead of, you know, being in like Colorado or something, we were still in Colorado geographically, but it was ruled over by orcs or something like that. Or like California might have been like merfolk or something. There was a lot of interesting stuff, and we basically played an isekai system in that. So it was interesting. And in that system, the world knew it was an isekai. And so we all you could talk in RPG stats and stuff. And that was kind of fun because that means you could meta the game and it wasn't meta. It was a very interesting campaign. I've played a couple like those. Is there a way to make death common in your campaign that doesn't cheapen it? Well, what do you mean by make death common? That's a very loaded question. Because I don't think your goal should ever be to try and kill as many of the player characters as possible. But if you're running a high lethality game, you just tell players that the fights are going to be difficult and it's not uncommon that someone might die. The way that you make death not cheap, like you don't cheapen the concept of death, is you don't give players access to like resurrection magic. That's how you make death matter. You just don't give players access to, you know, raise dead and breath of life and resurrection, or like even limited wish and stuff. Or you make it so rare and so annoying that it actually is like a journey the players have to go on to get someone rezzed. I know in Pathfinder, it's comically easy to get someone resurrected or to bring people back from the brink of death. It's hilariously easy to do that, which is something I'm not a huge fan of. I like it when death actually means something, and bringing someone back from the dead should be a big deal. It's not just no res magic. You have to give character death narrative and character impact too. That is also true. You can't, like, no one wants to die to just a random spider that you came across while adventuring through the woods. That's not narratively satisfying for anyone, and I think we all know that. That's just not fun, and it's not interesting. Sacrificing yourself to slay the demon lord, that is interesting. That's cool. People are a big fan of that. But you can't just, if you want to have high lethality, just make it so the high lethality parts of your game are during story beats and not during, you know, a stroll through the woods, because that's just not interesting. Unless you can turn that into a really cool story beat, then go for it. Because then that's awesome. That's just not usually what happens. What I like is whenever the DM makes sure. What I like is the DM makes sure that if a character gets res, they come back changed. I'm a big fan of that. I like the concept that death changes people, because then it's not just, oh, my player came back, we're good to go again. I like it when players come back, they're a little traumatized. They died. There should be an impact. But a lot of, not even I have run things like that, just because, being totally honest, I'm not sure if my players would enjoy that. It's something I personally want, and I never really talked to them about it, but I do think that you should have responsibilities and repercussions from dying. Your cat ears beautiful. Yes, they do. They're very cute. They're very adorable. Thank you for noticing. But welcome on in, Night Racer. Any impactful NPC deaths? I think NPC deaths can be impactful if your party was attached to them. However, I've also noticed that in general, RPG groups tend to form such an unhealthy attachment to NPCs that they will move the heavens and earth just to get them to where they need to be. You got a cute little side character that you're like, haha, this is going to be a throwaway character. Nope. They're going to latch onto that character more than any other thing you've ever made, and they're going to drag them along with them throughout the entire campaign. I don't make the rules. That's just how it works. You need to see me wrapped up in a burrito. I mean, I could put myself in a little blanket. There, we'll be all cozy today. There, we're super cozy now. Stop calling me out. I will call you out for forever. It would be fun to play a magic user like Mega Man from Konosuba where you only know one spell, but you can only use it once per day. The bit about people coming back changed remind me of old bits. You would switch your old human avatar as a model bit to spook people. I would do that right now, but my webcam actually broke, which is what let me would swap models easier. I don't know why it's not working. I'll have to figure that out later. I kind of just don't want to deal with it right now, but later maybe. Let's see. What other shenanigans? I have notes. Oh, I want to talk about a comment. I want to talk about a comment. Okay. What do you guys feel about the phrase, if the game isn't balanced, it's the DM's fault? I hate this phrase. I think this phrase is born from someone who thinks that they can always balance encounters perfectly. And not only that, but they have the time to balance every encounter perfectly. There's a reason why challenge ratings exist for games, because if you have a level 4 party, you should be able to, in a perfect world, throw a challenge rating 4 thing at them, and it should be a fairly decent encounter. That's why the system is there. Now, obviously, you should probably check every encounter to see if there's some weird mechanic that you didn't know about that might inadvertently just absolutely wreck your entire party. But the GM does not always have time to check every little thing, and I'm sorry, I am not going to custom make every creature you will ever run into throughout the entirety of the campaign. I don't have time for that. I am so sorry. If that makes you think less of me as a GM, so be it. But most people GM for fun. They're not trying to make the most awesome balanced experience ever. I guarantee you, a lot of GMs, their thought process is, oh, I need this CR5 thing. Hey, this creature looks kind of cool. Let's put it in there and see how it does. And sometimes it just accidentally kills your whole party. Sometimes it does. And I'm sorry, but that's not the GM's fault all the time. You can't expect someone to try and balance an entire game based off of every decision every person has made. There is no way to balance that. The dice will not let you pull that off. I'm sorry. That is a comment born from ignorance of the time that both sides have to put into the game to make it playable and fun for everyone. The GM, give your GM a little bit of slack. They don't have time to check everything. They might be more focused on trying to make the experience cool rather than balancing the numbers. Something has got to give. One person is essentially putting in the time to try and make an experience more fun for 5 other people. It's just frustrating. I know people want them. I know you want it to be balanced, but that's not the nature of the games that we play all the time. It's not going to be balanced every time. And sometimes you're going to get frustrated as a player and as a GM. Just try to remember that balance isn't just the GM's fault. The system, the terrain, the campaign, every little piece that has been put into the game plays into that balance. And saying that it's just the GM's fault, I'm sorry, but that is ignorant, and you got to start looking a little inward on that one. Help the GM out. If you think that their encounters are bad, tell them, but be constructive about it. Be like, hey, look, this was a problem. This was a problem. We're a little under optimized. I don't think we can deal with encounters like that. Maybe you try and put one that's like 1 or 2 below that, or maybe you nerf their armor class a little bit, or their damage, or something. But the GM is not always going to get it right. And please, 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 just be accepting of that. Know that when players complain, or like when GMs complain about balance, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're trying to outbalance their players. Sometimes the system itself, the rules just aren't as fair as they could be, and that leads to problems. It was a problematic comment that I saw, and it really is unfortunate because I feel like anytime you give, also that is a pretty funny example, isn't it? That's pretty good. But yeah, essentially, don't be scared to talk to your GM. Exactly. Yeah, don't be scared to talk to your GM. It is baffling how many people will not do that. They would rather suffer through the most heinous of games, something that is an absolutely miserable experience, than pull the GM aside and be like, hey, you know, I'm not really a big fan of how this is going. Can we maybe try swapping some things up? Like, is there anything I can do to make this better for you? And I have done that, by the way. I pulled my favorite character I've ever played with, my freaking Paladin of Light. I had to remove her from the game because it was making the GM's life hell. She was so overpowered for the campaign that we were playing. I basically trivialized every combat encounter. So what did I do? I could see the GM was getting frustrated. I'm like, hey, would it be easier for you if I had my character leave and she just went off and went and did something else? Would that make your life easier? And he said yes. So Valtira, the awesome paladin of awesomeness, she left on her own adventure to go find the greater evil later. You know, she went off and did her own thing, and I came in with a different character that wasn't as overtuned, and the game was a lot more enjoyable. And you know, the funny thing is I didn't even mean to make her that powerful. I was just like, oh, Archer Paladin, that sounds like a lot of fun. It just turns out that playing a paladin in a campaign full of undead as an archer makes you absolutely giga-broken. Like, you're so strong, it's ridiculous. So I volunteered my character to leave because the GM was getting frustrated with me. And I didn't mean to make him frustrated. I just thought the character concept was cool. I didn't even think that paladins would make good archers. I thought it was just a gimmick. But turns out it was really strong. Or at least it was a lot stronger than I had planned on in that particular campaign. And so she left. But it's all because I had a conversation with my GM that, you know, I could see they were miserable. So I as a player tried to make them a little bit less miserable, and I think the game went a lot better after that moment. But Have you ever made a mistake so bad or something went so poorly, you just kind of undid it and decided it didn't happen? Like maybe twice, where it was like a really bad rules call and it caused some characters to die when they shouldn't have, or it completely messed up the story. But in general, that doesn't happen very often. Usually you have to mess up pretty bad to not be able to just roll with the punches. If I'm being perfectly honest, like you had to do something really bad to not be able to fix it. I know it wasn't Curse of Strahd, Chibi. It was Carrion Crown. It was a Pathfinder module. How many backup characters do you prepare? I don't usually prepare backup characters. I have a lot of ideas that I want to try, but I don't usually have like pre-made characters ready because I don't anticipate dying. So if I die, I just take a minute and think about like, oh, what would be interesting? So I don't usually have backup characters prepared. Or at most I will have like an idea of a character, but I will not have actually done any of the actual work to make them real yet. Oh, man. I've been getting fired up by so many comments recently that are just so fascinating. Have you accidentally ever given away the big bad evil guy early? What do you mean by given away? Like, let the players kill them or let the players know who it is? I'm actually a big fan of throwing the big bad evil guy at them, like, early so that they know who it is. Like, I think in most campaigns, my players know who the final boss will be before they ever, like, leave the starting town. Because I like players knowing, like, this is the person you're eventually going to have to deal with. And sometimes they've just tried to go straight at them, which, you know, that doesn't usually end well. But for the most part, they're like, okay, we know how powerful this person is. Let's go power ourselves up. Let's go take out their generals, or, you know, let's destroy their power sources, or, you know, X, Y, and Z. And then when they feel like they're ready, they go fighter. So that's usually how I like to run things, because on the one hand, it kind of lets, like, I give them enough options so that they can keep on doing stuff, but it also kind of gives them the option to end the campaign when they are ready, you know, because if everyone's like, all right, let's just go fighter now, I kind of know that everyone's done with the current campaign. And so, you know, maybe it's a couple levels earlier than I would have liked, but, you know, I'll just tune the boss down to their level usually, if, you know, assuming that it's not like too early. And so they'll have the final fight, you know, when they're ready, and, you know, it'll be a great campaign. They'll be like, oh my gosh, we actually did it, you know, claps all around, all that jazz. But I will never force a campaign to go on for longer than it should, because if the players are just getting bored, it's just going to go downhill real fast, and it's just going to be miserable for you. It's going to be miserable for them if you try and elongate the campaign. And personally, I would rather finish off a campaign than let it just die in obscurity because people are bored and they eventually approach you and just be like, hey, can we just do something new now? Like, do we have to keep doing this? Can we just do something new? Which has happened a few times. And sometimes that's even me, where I'm just like, I'm not feeling it, and we've stopped the campaign. I've actually probably been the one who's done that more often than not, and that's another failure of mine, is ending a campaign before it's really gotten like a lot of legs to stand on. But sometimes, man, if you're just not feeling it, you're just not feeling it. And sometimes there's ways that you can like salvage it, where if you had this idea for a campaign, you talk to your players and be like, guys, I'm not really liking this direction we're going. How would you guys feel about having these characters now go in this direction, you know, go down this story path with this kind of a thing, you know? How would you guys feel about that? And there's been times where we've done that. So there's different ways of doing it. Have you ever done one where they all died and restart with new characters and their previous campaign was legend? Yeah, I used to have a world that I would run games in. And whenever a new campaign started, it was at a different era of that world. And sometimes they got to go back and interact with fragments of their old life and stuff. So it was interesting. There was some, I liked the concept of a world that was like growing with its heroes. That was a lot of fun. But that didn't happen for too long. There wasn't a lot of opportunities to do that. Your suit is so cute. Well, thank you. But it was fun when I did do it. Yeah. Ah, good times, good times. My nose is all clogged up now. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it is what it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Why did you change it? I just put on a blanket. Why not? What's the toughest boss fight you fought in a campaign? I don't know. Probably something mythic. Using the mythic rules in Pathfinder. The funnest boss I've ever made was a boss that had 4 parts that were in different time shifts, and like there was time splinters of a boss that would cast and do things, and it was really cool. I'm still waiting for you to host a D&D session on stream. I'm working on it. I'm working on something like that. I just haven't decided how I want to do it yet, but I am working on it. I am working on it. Hopefully in the next couple months or so. But there's some other projects that I have to focus on for now. Always have a great night at Capra. I'm going to go now. Have a good night, Pokemaster. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Also insert Horcrux joke about the 4 hearts. Oh, one day. I think I would actually really like to probably get people on for a Blades in the Dark session or two. That would be a lot of fun. Making a crew. I like Blades in the Dark because it just assumes you're criminals. It doesn't even assume that you can be good guys. That's what I love so much about it. The world setting is just so dark that it assumes you're an evil group. Oh, so good, so good, so fun. Oh, I apologize. I am yawning. I don't think I got enough sleep from last night. Oh, I wish I could stream in the mornings. I've got so much more energy in the mornings, especially after long days at work. Ever thought about doing a Skyrim campaign? No, I don't like Skyrim, so I would never do a Skyrim themed campaign. Any Rayleech updates? If you remember, yeah. Rayleech updates are... The reference sheet for Rayleech is done. Members have already seen it. The rest of you will see it when the model is actually being worked on. Because I don't want to show it off and then be disappointed if something falls through again. So I will show you guys all the reference sheet as soon as the model is actually being worked on, which we're getting very close to. We're about 2 months away now. Actually, less than 2 months now. We're about 2 months away from the work beginning on Rayleech. So when that happens, I'll be sure to show all of you everything that's going on. But I don't want to show it off until it's actually real. That's the only reason why you guys haven't seen as much yet. But the members have. So if you want to join the membership and see sneak peeks, you guys know where to find me. How do you get the green name? You'll be a member. That's how you get the green name. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there for now, guys. I am absolutely tired, and I have to make tomorrow's clip tonight, because tomorrow morning I'm gonna be at the dentist hopefully getting my tooth fixed, because life is so much fun like that. And yeah, but thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And like I said, we'll be back on Saturday for Daggerheart. So if you want to see what Daggerheart's all about, subscribe, follow the stream, all that jazz. And I'll see you on Saturday, and it'll be good. Also, join the Discord. Links in the description and all that jazz. And I will see you all later. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.